On a sunny Saturday afternoon, I lay on a table at the Acme Tattoo Parlor. Hands gripping the edge, knuckles white, fire burning up my leg. Oh, shit. This hurts. Another table, 6 years prior. That same burning sensation, this time in the back of my hand. An IV inserted as I lay awaiting surgery. A lumbar laminectomy for a herniated disc, L5-S1. When the neurosurgeon asked, can you envision living like this for the next 5 years? Tears ran down my cheek. I was 39. My kids were 11 and 9, and my left leg was numb and useless. Unable to hold my own weight. I could barely sit for 10 minutes at a time, hardly walk 2 blocks. I couldn't even drive the car. For nearly 4 months, I had done it all. Bed rest, synthetic morphine, alternating hot and cold packs, chiropractor, acupuncture, massage therapy, physical therapy, even a series of steroid injections into my spine. I've had x-rays, EMGs, MRIs, and CAT scans. Oh, I had done it all. And now it was time for the knife. Afterwards, my surgeon said the sciatic nerve looked like mushed linguine. You will be able to function, he said, but you'll never be like you were before. It won't be like it never happened. And he was right. The feeling never really returned to that leg, and neither weight training nor exercise could stop the atrophy. I watched the muscle tone decay and my left calf slowly wither. The Cincinnati Art Museum. One of the oldest in the country, massive stone pillars, huge marble stairs, a bastion for the visual arts. I strolled through the gallery one summer evening, surrounded by smartly dressed patrons who spoke in hushed voices as they mingled with Monet, Botticelli, Van Gogh, Picasso. In my wanderings, I came across a special exhibit. The gallery was dark, lit only by pools and pockets of light, the focus of each spotlight, single black and white photographs. I moved from shadow into light, back to shadow, as I walked alone in that silent room, surrounded by dozens of haunting images. Photographs of women and girls, of all ages, from all parts of the world, each presented as answer to the question, what is beauty? I gazed at an old, old woman, her face carved deep with lines, her skin turned to leather from sun and wind. I smiled back at the toothless grin of a little girl, hair in braids, round face sparkling in that gap-tooth transition. I looked at gnarled, twisted hands, misshapen claws molded by the ravages of arthritis. One photograph in particular caught my attention. A woman in her 50s, short-cropped gray hair, hey, an athlete, diagonal stripe on a runner's jersey, arms raised up, chest pushed forward as if breaking the ribbon on a finish line. As I moved closer, I realized she was not wearing a shirt at all, and she had only one breast. The diagonal stripe, a scar from a radical mastectomy. Her body no longer symmetrical. That scar began mid-breastbone, came down and wrapped itself around her body. But woven in, around, and through that scar was the most intricate tattoo I had ever seen. Lines, Celtic knots, vines, all danced in and around, creating an exquisite piece of art. Her face radiated victory, triumph, and joy. Those arms raised up in an embrace. I am alive. And this is me. I turned and came face to face with Marie Antoinette. Powdered hair rising to the heaven, painted face, beauty marks, cinched waist, hoop skirt wider than arm's reach. She was surrounded by her ladies in waiting. Scarlett O'Hara, coquettishly peering from behind a lace fan. Miss America standing tall and regal, wearing her diamond tiara. A model for Victoria's Secret, seductively draped on a couch. What is beauty? Good question. The Acme Tattoo Parlor, St. Paul, Minnesota. 2 large plate glass windows bearing the slogan, "No appointment necessary, we're ready when you are." Like the door. A metal grate capable of spanning the storefront was pushed off to one side. As I entered, there was a teenage girl standing with her mother at the worn Formica counter. That girl made no attempt to mask her indignation, as the employee stated in a matter-of-fact tone of voice, "According to state law, you must be 18 years of age to get a tattoo, regardless of parental or guardian approval." "Tough luck," was all that mother said as they walked out of the I looked around. I'd never been inside a tattoo parlor before. Signs graced the walls, which were paneled in cheap wood veneer. Acme Tattoo, the industry leader. Talent, technique, attitude, equipment, and hospital sterilization. Interpreters for American Sign Language available. We're the shop your parents came to. Fully licensed and insured, CPR and first aid certified. There is no substitute for quality, safety, and real shiny floors. A grandmother, woman in her 60s, was getting a daisy chain tattooed around her ankle. It's for when I go square dancing. The owner of the shop was wearing shorts and a tank t-shirt. He was covered with tattoos, his legs, his arms, his back, his chest. He was doing a touch-up on a mermaid at the base of a gal's spine. In the next chair, her mother was getting a butterfly tattooed on her shoulder. A very nice-looking man, 30s, came in, was greeted from behind the counter with, "Hey, what can we do for you this time?" No tattoos were visible. He asked for 4 female names to be written in cursive script on his neck. I found myself wondering, just how many names might be tattooed on that body and where? A young couple came in quest of the perfect his and her matching tattoo. We passed the pattern books back and forth. I scanned page after page of design. I saw images so amazing, they took my breath away. And images so disturbing, it made my skin crawl. At last I found it, a vine with red roses, simple, delicate, to adorn my damaged limb. I was handed a clipboard with forms to be filled out, payment by cash or credit card, no checks accepted. A woman in her 40s, dressed in comfortable bohemian clothing, looking very much the artist, transferred the rub-on design to my leg. Spent a long time looking at that in the mirror. This is permanent. Now, she did say, you know, if I really wasn't sure, I could always come back another time. And if I wanted green added to the leaves, I could come back, no charge, within 4 weeks. Finally, I took that deep breath and said, okay. Now, she did ask if I really wanted that tattoo to start on my bony ankle. And I said, this is not a problem. I don't have any feeling in that leg. Do not worry. And I confidently climbed up on the table. She took an old ceramic shaving mug, the brush clicking against the side as she whipped that soap into a frothy lather. I watched as she spread that foam on my leg, unfold an old-fashioned straight razor. She drew it back and forth on that leather strap, each time with a snap. I heard the blade as it scraped along my leg, but I didn't feel it. Next, she took this gadget that looked and sounded just like an engraving tool and began. It was at this point the words "wood burning kit" took on a whole new meaning. You see, I had grown so accustomed to being disconnected and cut off from that leg, it never occurred to me that even though the surface nerves may be dead, oh, the deep ones, they can work just fine. I was no longer a mere spectator for this event. No, I was a full contact participant. Sometimes, my neurosurgeon said once, pain is better than numbness. Yeah, right. You know, it is amazing how those Lamaze breathing techniques, they stay with you for your entire life, because I was using them. As the needle moved along, my leg began to spasm. Nerves that had lain dormant for years were now on stimulus overload. With reflexes that come only with years of experience, that bohemian artist locked down a grip, gentle but extremely firm. My leg wasn't going anyplace. 30 long minutes later, she was done. My leg was wrapped in gauze. I was given my care instructions for the next 6 weeks, and I hobbled out into the late afternoon sun. I did not go back to have green attitude. What is beauty? In Cincinnati, I saw myself reflected in every one of those photographs. My past, my present, my future. Beauty is fluid, and so is life. Both are filled with fast-moving water, calm eddies, rocks, and debris. To be more than a mere spectator, to be a full contact participant in life, it is not easy. It takes hard work. It takes stamina. It takes endurance. And that's why I continue to train. Because I want to stand with my arms raised up, my face radiating victory, triumph, and joy as I embrace I am alive. And this is